Welcome back. All right, straight away to the sequential injection kit. All right, so this system employs the use of an ECU, all right, an electronic control unit. Unlike the um, Venturi system, which is mostly purely mechanical, the only digital aspects of the Venturi were probably the digital gauge. Apart from that, high pressure to low pressure to fuel delivery was purely mechanical. All right, so this system has the ECU. Again, you have a reducer. But in this system, all this reducer does is takes in the high pressure at your 3,600, 3,600 psi and brings it down to about 40 to about 30, 40 psi, all right, for use by the injectors. Now, this gives steady pressure, unlike the Venturi that would give different volumes of gas as the throttle requires. This would give steady pressure to the fuel injectors. All right. Um, Depending on the size of engine, if you had a 4-cylinder, you would have 4 injectors. If you had a 6-cylinder, 6 injectors, or 8-cylinder, 8 injectors. And in some very interesting cases, some manufacturers decided to put 2 injectors per cylinder. Well, those are for as another talk for another day. So you have fuel injectors, you've got your reducer. Again, you have your steel pipe supplying your high pressure to the reducer. You have fuel injectors. Now, you would have nozzles from the fuel injectors that would supply gas to the fuel injector nozzles, right? So these have to be drilled. You get that? These have to be drilled into the intake of the vehicle as close as possible to the petrol injector because they deliver the gas that is being supplied by each injector. Okay. um, you would have the filter. It's a directional filter. There's an arrow there that takes gas, filters gas coming from the reducer to the injector. You have hoses. um, this is a luggage compartment breather. You don't want any, just in case you have a spill or a leak of gas, you want that gas traveling out of the car, not remaining inside the vehicle. So you have this breather placed in the trunk. You would have breathers in both instances, Venturi or sequential. Your refill line, refill valve, again, you would have same on the Venturi and the sequential. Again, you have a digital pressure gauge manometer, right? You would find that be installed somewhere at this point. Gives the ECU a digital readout of the pressure coming from the fuel tank. So that way it's able to tell if you're running out of gas or how much gas you have left. Again, you have a solenoid valve at the reducer that shuts off or allows the flow of gas when the ECU instructs. Then you would have a harness and wires. For a 4-cylinder, this has 4 connectors, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what you would usually get in uh, the sequential system is an interruption of the original signal. So if you get better description when we start proper conversions, I will show you how this works. But in this design, it's actually much simpler. You plug in the original injector socket here, and then you plug this part into that point. So that way you don't have to splice and cut and all that. Depending again on the manufacturer of the vehicle, these would work in most European cars. Uh, your data link connector, so you can communicate with this. The ECU monitors the temperature of the gas, monitors the volume of gas flow through the MAP. The MAP, it converts inlet pressure in the intake manifold into a proportional electrical signal that is transferred to the ECU. Well, it also takes into account the air temperature that goes right through it, which means the mixture of, not the mixture, the gas that goes in through it measures the temperature and feeds off that information to the ECU. So basically, the MAP, which would be found in every, most, every sequential system, this device, it calculates the volume of air sucked by weight, and then it establishes the correct flow of gas injection into the system. Your data link connection and your dashboard switch, digital, fully digital. Unlike the last one that was much larger, this is actually much smaller because all it requires is just signals. You have that? Yeah. So this would be on the inside of the car to switch between gas and petrol, and then you would have tiny bars there that would indicate the quantity or the level of gas. So in summary, you would have a much more efficient system on the sequential. This is because almost every process on the fuel injection system is monitored by the ECU, from the temperature of the gas, temperature of the coolant, the pressure of the gas, to the volume of air, uh, the vacuum from the intake, even to the exhaust fumes coming out of the car, can all be monitored by this ECU. So you would have a more efficiently running vehicle if you were using the sequential system, unlike the um, Venturi system where it just dumps a fixed amount of gas each time you need it. And after a while, this needs to be cleaned and recalibrated. Same thing with this, but not as often. You don't need to clean and calibrate. Most times you just need to replace the filter. I think it's about 10, 20,000 kilometers, replace your filter. And then if the system isn't functioning properly, just recalibrate. So by and large, you would be much better with a sequential system than a Venturi system. This is more than half the price of this, but this is more efficient.